Have you ever felt it? That subtle, unspoken hesitation when you suggest visiting someone's home. There's always a reason, of course. It's a mess right now. The timing isn't good. Let's just meet out. On the surface, these are normal, polite deflections. But you feel something else, don't you? A quiet alarm, a subtle energetic door closing in your face. We are taught in our society to ignore these subtle feelings, to take words at their face value. But the wisest part of you, the ancient part of your soul that understands energy better than language, it recognizes a profound signal. It knows that a home is more than just a place with a roof and walls. It is a sanctuary, a physical manifestation of a person's inner world. The most revealing sign in a person is not found in their words, their accomplishments, or the mask they wear for the world. It is found in their relationship with their own sanctuary and their willingness or unwillingness to let you in. The persistent avoidance of a home visit is not about a messy room. It is a symptom of a deep, inner turbulence they are desperately trying to conceal. Today, we will not learn to judge. We will learn to FC. We will journey together, exploring the most insightful signs of a deeply fractured soul, all of which orbit this one central truth. These are not signs of evil, but of profound pain. Not reasons for condemnation, but for clear-eyed compassion and the protection of your own sacred peace. Before we begin this exploration, let us make a shared commitment to clarity. I want to invite you to type a simple affirmation in the comments below, a declaration of your intention. Just type IOBCRVYTECLR2Y. By doing this, you are not just typing words, you are anchoring your energy to a commitment of seeing the world as it is, not with fear, but with profound, peaceful awareness. And if this is the path you wish to walk, a path of deep understanding and inner wisdom, I invite you now to join our community. Subscribe to this channel. It is a small act that signifies a powerful choice, a choice to nurture your own awareness. Now, let us illuminate the first sign. 1. The house of 1,000 doors. This is the individual whose very essence seems to change with the room they are in. They are not merely adapting, they are becoming a completely different person. With one group of friends, they are the life of the party, loud and boisterous. With another, they are the deep, philosophical thinker. At work, they are the ruthless executive. When they speak to you, you feel they are performing a role specifically tailored for you. You might have experienced this directly. You introduce them to a friend from a different part of your life, and suddenly, their vocabulary, their tone of voice, even their stated opinions, shift dramatically. It feels disorienting. You're left wondering, which one is the real you? This experience is the anchor. It's that feeling of standing in a hallway with countless doors, and you realize they have shown you one, but behind all the others are different worlds, different selves. From a space of deep awareness, we understand that a truly integrated person has a center, a core of being that remains constant. Like a great, ancient tree, their leaves may change with the seasons, but the trunk is solid, unmoving, and deeply rooted. The person with 1,000 doors, however, has no trunk. They are a collection of facades, a college of personalities borrowed to suit the moment. This doesn't arise from a place of malicious deceit, but from a profound emptiness within. They have no true home inside themselves, so they try to build temporary shelters in the approval of others. They are so terrified that their true, unadorned self is not enough that they build countless, more acceptable versions. The insight here is powerful. You are not witnessing adaptability. You are witnessing a deep fracture of the soul. See it not as a betrayal, but as a silent scream for an authentic identity they have not yet found. 2. The echoing silence. There is a comfortable silence between two people, and then there is an echoing silence. This sign reveals itself in the quality of stillness around a person. It is not about being quiet. It's about the energy that fills the space when words cease. With a grounded person, silence is a place of rest, a shared space of being. But with this individual, silence is a vacuum. It is tense, hollow, and profoundly uncomfortable. You've likely felt this. You're in a car ride or sitting across from them at a table. The small talk has run out and a quiet falls over you. Instead of feeling peaceful, you feel a sudden pressure to speak again. The silence feels like an accusation. Their energy is screaming, "Don't look too close. Don't feel what's really here. Keep the noise going." They will quickly reach for their phone, turn on the radio, or ask a superficial question, anything to fill the void. That desperate scramble to escape stillness is the anchor. The laws of nature itself reveal that everything in a state of health has a natural rhythm of action and rest. The tides ebb and flow. The heart beats and rests between beats. This rhythm is life. The person who fears silence is in a state of constant, unsustainable action. The stillness is where the unprocessed emotions, the hidden pains, and the authentic self reside. To them, that inner landscape is a terrifying, haunted place. Silence means being left alone with the very things they are running from. They keep the noise and conversation on the surface, like a thin layer of ice over a dark, turbulent ocean. Therefore, when you feel that echoing silence, understand that you are touching the edge of their fear. It is not your responsibility to fill their void. Instead, recognize that their inability to rest in stillness is a sign of a profound inner war. 3. The borrowed river. This sign is about the source of a person's energy and identity. It becomes apparent when you listen to where they derive their sense of self. Their stories are not about their inner journey, their feelings, or their quiet realizations. Instead, their entire being is powered by external validation. They are a borrowed river. The anchor for this is a conversation you've surely had. You ask them, "How are you?" And the answer is never about their inner state. It's a list of achievements, a new promotion, a fancy car, a compliment they receive, the important people they know. Their entire sense of well-being is tied to something outside of themselves. They speak more about the brand of their clothes than the state of their heart. They describe their vacation by the price tag, not by the moments of peace they felt. You walk away from the conversation knowing a lot about what they have, but nothing about who they are. Ancient wisdom teaches us that the human spirit is meant to be a spring, not a pipeline. A truly centered person has an inner source of worth, a wellspring of peace that nourishes them regardless of external circumstances. The borrowed river, however, has no spring of its own. It is a dry river that depends on the rains of praise, status, and external success to feel alive. When those rains stop, as they inevitably do, the riverbed cracks and reveals the dust and emptiness beneath. This creates a desperate, unending hunger. No amount of validation is ever enough because it's a temporary fix for a permanent internal deficit. Your insight is this: recognize the desperate thirst behind their endless recitation of success. Their life is not an expression of joy from within, but a performance designed to secure validation from without. This is not strength, it is a fragile existence, one compliment away from collapse. 4. The manicured wilderness. This sign presents itself not as chaos, but as its unsettling opposite, an impossible, rigid perfection. It is the sign of a life that is overly curated, a soul that is terrified of its own wild, authentic nature. We call it the manicured wilderness. You can see this everywhere. It's the person whose home, if you ever get to see it, doesn't look lived in. It looks like a showroom. There is no clutter, no sign of messy, creative life. It's the social media feed that is a flawless highlight reel, with no mention of struggle or doubt. It's the way they tell stories about their past. Every memory is polished, every challenge is a neat lesson, every past relationship is summed up with a sterile, blame-free conclusion. There are no loose ends, no raw emotion. You are not connecting with a human, you are observing a perfectly curated exhibit. That feeling of sterility is the anchor. Nature itself is a dance between beautiful order and magnificent chaos. A real forest is filled with fallen leaves, twisted branches, and signs of both life and decay. That is its beauty. The soul that embraces its own humanity is the same. It is a wilderness of joy, sorrow, wisdom, and confusion. The manicured wilderness, however, is a sign of immense fear. It is a person who has taken shears to their own soul, cutting away any part they deem unacceptable, their anger, their grief, their insecurities. They believe that if anyone sees a single dead leaf, the entire facade of their perfect garden will be deemed a failure. When you encounter this unsettling perfection, look beyond what is being presented. Understand that this level of control is not born of peace, but of a terror of what lies beneath. The more perfect the visible garden, the more untamed and feared the hidden wilderness must be. 5. The storm that never breaks. Have you ever been around someone where the air feels heavy, thick with an unspoken charge? There is no yelling, no overt conflict, but you feel a constant, simmering undercurrent of frustration, resentment, or sadness. This is the sign of the storm that never breaks. It is the energy of deeply suppressed emotions. The anchor is a palpable feeling. You might say something innocuous, a simple joke or comment, and they respond with a sharpness that is completely out of proportion. Or you might feel a pervasive passive aggression in their jokes that are really pointed criticisms. There is a tension in their jaw, a stiffness in their posture. You feel like you have to walk on eggshells, constantly monitoring the emotional weather, because you can sense the immense pressure building just below the surface. You feel exhausted after being around them, drained by the invisible effort of navigating their unexpressed emotional field. From a space of deep awareness, we know that emotion is simply energy in motion. It is meant to flow through us, to be felt, acknowledged, and released. Healthy people are like a healthy sky. The storms come, they rain, and they pass, leaving the air clear. But the person who fears their own emotions builds a dam. They believe that their anger is destructive, their sadness is a weakness, or their grief is a bottomless pit they will never escape. So they suppress, they push it all down. But the energy does not disappear. It stagnates. It becomes a poisonous, pressurized swamp within them. This pressure has to leak out somewhere, in sarcasm, in chronic irritability, in sudden, unexplained illnesses. So when you feel that heavy, charged atmosphere, recognize it for what it is. You are not the cause of the storm. You are simply feeling the pressure of a storm that has been held back for far too long. See the immense strength and energy they are expending every single day just to keep their own inner world from erupting. 6. The invisible walls. This sign is less about specific actions and more about a pervasive energetic quality. It is the experience of being with someone who, despite being friendly, open, and engaging on the surface, feels fundamentally unreachable. There are invisible walls around their heart. The anchor for this is a deeply confusing relational experience. You can talk with them for hours. You can share laughter and seemingly deep conversations. They might even share vulnerable stories, yet you walk away with a strange feeling of emptiness. You feel like you've come no closer to their true self. It feels like you were interacting with a very skilled and personable ambassador, but you were never allowed into the country itself. You can know everything about them, but you don't actually know them. This feeling of being held at an energetic arm's length, no matter the physical proximity, is the sign. The laws of the universe show us that genuine connection requires energetic permeability. It requires two people to lower their shields and allow their true essence to meet. It is an exchange, a dance of resonance. The person with invisible walls has constructed an energetic fortress around their soul. Often, this is a result of deep past wounds, a betrayal, a loss, a profound heartbreak that taught them that vulnerability is dangerous. So they built walls to protect themselves. The tragedy is that these walls, built to keep pain out, also keep love out. They prevent any genuine connection from ever taking root. The insight here is to trust your energetic perception. If you feel that you are constantly hitting an invisible barrier, you probably are. This is not a failure on your part to connect. It is a sign of a deeply guarded heart, a soul living in a self-imposed isolation chamber, mistaking safety for true aliveness. 7. The ghost in the machine. This is a subtle yet deeply revealing sign. It's when a person talks about their own life, especially their past struggles, or deep feelings, with a complete lack of emotional resonance. They narrate their own story as if they were a historian reporting on a long, lost civilization. There is a profound disconnect between the person and their own experience. They are a ghost in the machine of their own life. The anchor for this is when you find yourself more emotionally invested in their story than they appear to be. They might describe a painful childhood or a devastating breakup with the same flat, detached tone they would use to describe the weather. There are no cracks in their voice, no tears welling in their eyes, no flush in their cheeks. You feel a sense of dissonance. Your heart aches for the character in the story, but you feel no emotional energy coming from the storyteller. It is as if they have disassociated from their own past, viewing it on a screen instead of feeling it in their body. Our deepest wisdom teaches that integration is the process of weaving all of our experiences, the light and the shadow, into the unified fabric of who we are. It is about owning our story, all of it. This disassociation is the opposite of integration. It is a survival mechanism. The trauma or pain was so overwhelming at the time that the only way for the psyche to survive was to step out of the body, to become an observer of the pain rather than a participant. This ghost remains long after the event, unable to fully re-inhabit their own life. They live in their minds, in a world of logic and analysis, because the world of feeling is a minefield they dare not enter. When you witness this, you are seeing a profound wound. This person is not cold or unfeeling. They are a soul that has endured something so powerful that they had to leave their own body to survive it. Their story is being told, but the one who lived it is still in hiding. 8. The restless mirror. The final sign is one of a fundamental instability. This person's perception of others is not a clear window, but a restless mirror. They constantly project their own unacknowledged inner world onto everyone around them. They are intensely critical of traits in others that are, in fact, glaringly present in themselves. You have absolutely experienced this. The anchor is that moment of sheer bewilderment when someone accuses you or another person of being selfish or arrogant or dishonest, and it is a perfect description of their own behavior. The most gossip-prone person in the office warns you, "Don't trust anyone here, they all talk behind your back." The person who is constantly seeking control tells you that you are being too dominant. It is a bizarre, upside-down reality where they are unconsciously narrating their own character flaws, but attributing them to you. The spiritual principle at play here is that of shadow. We all have a shadow self, the parts of ourselves we have repressed, denied, and judged as unacceptable. A healthy person does the work of turning inward to face their own shadow, but the person who cannot bear to look at their own darkness will inevitably see it everywhere else. The world becomes a screen onto which they project their inner demons. They don't do this consciously. It is a psychological defense mechanism to maintain a sense of their own righteousness. By finding a flaw in you, they can momentarily relieve the pressure of that same flaw existing within themselves. So, when you become the target of such an unjust accusation, the invitation is to step back from the specific words and see the deeper pattern. Do not absorb the criticism. Instead, observe it as a diagnostic tool. This person is not truly talking about you. They are, in that moment, unwittingly confessing their own deepest insecurities to you. These signs are not a checklist to condemn others. They are a compass for your own awareness. To see these patterns is to understand the language of the soul. It is to recognize that a person avoiding a home visit is really avoiding a visit with their own truth. Their messy house is a messy inner world. Their lack of time is a lack of inner space. Their fear of your judgment is their own relentless self-judgment. This path of discernment is not about building higher walls around your heart. It is about tending to your own inner garden. It is about becoming so deeply rooted in your own authenticity, so at peace in your own inner sanctuary, that the turbulence of another person's unhealed world cannot uproot you. You can offer compassion from a place of strength, not entanglement. You can see their pain without having to carry it. Your clarity becomes your shield, and your peace becomes your greatest offering to the world. If this journey of cultivating profound awareness and nurturing your own inner sanctuary resonates with you, then I invite you, once more, to subscribe and join our community. This is more than just following a channel. It is an affirmation of your commitment to your own path, a promise to yourself that you will continue to walk in clarity, in wisdom, and in peace.